Hey guys, AGYT Abbott here, and welcome to another video where we're going to be reviewing Season 10, Episode 18, titled Find Me of The Walking Dead. And then, for those of you that don't know, I have AMC Plus, so I get this episode early, so that's why it's coming out here on a Friday night. But, just to let you guys know, if you have not seen the episode prior to this one, Home Sweet Home, or any of Season 10, possibly Season 9, I might get into some of that, but if you haven't seen this episode in particular especially, stay away because this review will contain spoilers. Now, let's get into it. This is a very, very juicy episode. Some people may not be a fan of it because it, takes its time to really flesh out everything that's happening, but I really enjoyed this episode, and it might be one of my favorites of the season, of Season 10, because we haven't had an episode where there's such a character study of Daryl for quite some time now. Maybe like Season 6 or 7. Yeah, Season 7, when he was locked in the sanctuary. That's like the last episode where it was just like solely Daryl, and it was a Daryl-based episode where we just see the inner workings of Daryl, kind of, you know, how he processes things, how he deals with things. And in this episode, we get some time jumping from present day to when Daryl was looking for Rick. I really love that they brought that back, because I honestly even forgot that he was looking for Rick for all that time. And I assume even in the back of his mind now, he's still kind of thinking about, you know, I really need to look for Rick still. And I love that even after like 2 to 3 years, he's still holding out hope that he'll find a body or some remnant of his brother, because he calls Rick his brother. He's like, I lost my brother. That hit me. But we meet a new character in Leah. Leah. And yeah, this is a Walking Dead first. Daryl hooks up with her. Daryl has officially been in a relationship. That is just monumental to think about, because all this time people have kind of shipped him either with Carol or Connie, and then there was the weird phase where people were shipping him with Beth. But nah, he gets with this woman because this woman is very much like him. You know, she can take care of herself. She's very strong, very agile, very headstrong, I would say, as well. And yeah, I definitely enjoy her character. I hope she's just not like a one-and-done character. I definitely hope that we see her later on this season, or maybe in Season 11. Hey, ooh, man. Ooh, it would be very interesting. Maybe she is at the Commonwealth next season. That would be absolutely awesome. I could definitely see them doing that. But yeah, they form a nice connection where at first he's captured by her, because we meet Dog. Well, Daryl meets Dog for the very first time as a puppy, and then he meets him later on. So that was nice, and Dog kind of serves as that connection that Daryl still has to Leah even after she just goes away by the end of the episode, because Daryl has to make a choice. You know, it's been months gone by, and him and Leah have drawn very close together. They're living together, you know, the whole thing. But Leah is kind of conflicted because Daryl goes out every single day to look for Rick and to talk with Carol and stuff like that, because we see Carol and Daryl are still keeping up with conversations during this time, as Carol, you know, gives him supplies, and then the next time we see her, she's like, I need to stay with the kingdom for a little bit, so it might be my last visit for a while. You know, she even kind of says, like, why are you still out here after like 2 years? I mean, it's Rick, Carol. I mean, Rick did so much for Carol. I'm surprised she wasn't looking for him for a few days. But nah, Daryl's pretty committed, and I admire that about him. That's why I love getting these Daryl episodes, because Daryl has gone back and forth between like I love him, and then other times it's like I tolerate Daryl. But nah, man, he is great. He is awesome in this episode, and it's a great character study, like I said, as we see Daryl kind of start to let his guard down, as he usually does with, let's say, Beth and like Connie and Rick, and then he just loses them and gets crushed. Of course, we know Rick and Connie are still alive. I personally just can't wait till Daryl sees Connie. Hopefully that happens anyway. But yeah, as far as he knows, he's kind of at the end of. He's not at the end of his rope. Carol is more likely at the end of her rope because, she's had this whole arc for seasons now where she is kind of trying to find that balance between, living a peaceful life and then getting, she's still got that violent edge to her. She's kind of like Morgan, how Morgan's arc in Fear Season 6 is going, where, she has lost a great deal, but she is still trying to find those little things that she can hold on to make herself feel like a better person. But here, Carol and Daryl actually have a argument at the end of the episode, and it seems like Daryl and Carol's friendship is quite in jeopardy. I mean, if we weren't already knowing of the spin-off show with Daryl and Carol, I would say this would probably be a major turning point. Maybe they never fix this, but I feel like they'll resolve it. But yeah, I can definitely see why Daryl is still pissed, because Carol mentions, how Daryl is kind of making himself feel responsible for everyone that he loses, and he says, like Rick, Leia, Connie, and Daryl's like, no, Connie was your fault. And Carol's like, I apologize for what happened to Connie, but I don't apologize for, having Alpha get what she deserved, because I was right. And Daryl has a point. Carol has been trying to prove, that she's been right, that revenge was the right path, and that killing Alpha was the only way. Letting Negan out was the only way. I'm sure Maggie would have some input on that one. But yeah, Daryl definitely has a point there, where Carol has been having the same conversations with him for a while now, where she feels obligated to always get back at someone. At a certain point, Carol has to realize that there's going to be a time where she loses someone very close to her once again, and she has to understand that even though that is going to be an immense pain on her, she needs to kind of dial it back in, kind of get over that grief. That's really the theme of the episode, is grief, because Daryl is kind of trying to feel out this whole relationship with Leia as he's dealing with the grief of looking for Rick and just not being able to find anything. He has a map and it gets destroyed in the storm, and he gets really upset over that. That's probably one of the only times we've ever seen Daryl like scream, like full on scream, and get like really just mad at the world. But yeah, that was so hard to watch, because Daryl was trying so hard to find evidence that his friend is alive, that his brother is either alive or dead. But let's see. But yeah, Carol and Daryl, it definitely seems like their luck has run out. Carol even says that, it's like, our luck's run out, you and me, and she has a point, because Daryl and Carol, their arc has been, they're the best of friends, and Daryl is always there for her. And season 10, like that first, like even before the mid-season finale, before the whole cave thing happened, Daryl was starting to see that, Carol was kind of starting to slip through the cracks there in terms of sanity and just rational thinking, because Carol was not thinking out certain things that she did, like the cave. And I still don't know why Carol would go to such great lengths to do that, do the thing that she did in the cave, when she knew that Negan was going to take care of Alpha once and for all. I mean, I get maybe she thought Negan was dead, but I mean, let's be honest. Negan can handle himself. She most likely knows that Negan can handle himself. I don't know, that was just a small nitpick for me. But yeah, by the end, Leia does run away. Because, I mean, there is some depth to her character for sure. We learned about how she lost her son. That was nice character building there. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping we see her later on this season, or maybe next season. I'm pretty sure next season we'll see her again. But yeah, it definitely seems like Carol is running away from her problems. Daryl confronts her about it, and unfortunately, that's where the episode leaves off. Leaves off on kind of a bitter note. And I love how they play with your expectations, because the first few minutes of the episode, the opening, is kind of very comedic, with Daryl and Carol kind of bonding once again. It seems like, you know, maybe that conflict, they've kind of moved on from that, and then by the end, it's opened up. As the episode goes on, more and more and more of that emotion, that guilt, and that fire in Daryl is kind of acted upon, because he's starting to think back about Leia. And then, you know, when Carol mentions Rick and Connie, that's just it, because Daryl knows that Connie could be out there, but she could also be dead, and it's Carol's fault. Because Carol is like, you need to stop blaming yourself for these deaths. And Daryl's like, you know what? She's right, because Connie was her fault. And I know, it is so sad to see these two characters that we love seeing bond, you know, against each other here. Not against each other, but, you know, not in the best state in their friendship that we've seen. I think season 2 Daryl with her was better, and most of season 2 Daryl was him yelling at her. But yeah, in all honesty, that's all we have to do. All I have to say for this episode. It was very enjoyable. I loved it. I love a good character study, and I love a good Daryl episode. I'm sure a lot of people do. But yeah, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down below. Take care, and goodbye.